there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Today we are playing the telephone game, and there are several of us playing along. I got this beautiful layout from Jessica Ware over at the Scrappy Sisters, and I am going to scrap lift it, and then I will be passing it on to Lynn. And I'm going to have their links down below, and you can check out their layouts and the people that came before them and the people after. I have not seen anybody's layout except for the one that Jessica sent me, and Lynn will not have seen anybody's but mine. And at the end we will see how the layout started and the progression all the way through several people without seeing everybody else's, and it'll be kind of fun to watch the evolution of a layout. So I am starting out with this white paper, and I'm using a whole bunch of Paige Evans products, mostly Horizon, maybe a little bit of, I think that one might be from Whimsical, I'm not 100% sure. And I'm using these yellow scraps that I've used on another layout, and I'm trying to use up my Horizon collection because the scenic route is really pretty, and I'm thinking I might need a little bit of it, so I need to use up some of what I've got. So I have been trying to go through this as quickly as I can, scrapbooking this whitewater rafting trip that I did with my daughter's Girl Scout troop. And this was several years ago, I think I want to say 2007, and so these are old photos, but it was a fun trip, so I want to make sure we get it in her album. Now I'm auditioning several colors to be the border around that white piece of paper, and the fuchsia is the one that wins, and I love that color. It was bright enough and bold enough, but saturated enough to make a good border, in my opinion. Several of the others would have worked as well, but this is the one that looked the best to my eye. And I know I want to pick up on the yellows and the fuchsias because that is the color that I've got a lot of, well, I wouldn't say a lot, but I've got more of the florals in. And you saw me there just jot down the date on the back of the photo, or the photo mat. And I'm terrible about dating my layouts, and if you've been watching my videos, you might have heard me say that before. I'm trying to be better about it, so that way when I go to put them away, I don't have to rip photos off the layout. I do use Shutterfly for the most part, or I print at home on a Canon Selfie. The ones from Shutterfly have the date the photo was taken on the back of them, so that's my only saving grace when I go to put things away. Otherwise I am searching and digging for a while. Now I have gone ahead and put my photos onto white cardstock, and I am auditioning papers to put underneath it. That light blue one was a little too airy, and the one that has the little tiny polka dots was a little bit too the green for my taste. So I ended up going with that one that looks like, I want to say a patchwork quilt. I'm not really sure what you'd call it, but the super colorful one. Now I am going to trim down my white cardstock there, and I'm going to put a thin sliver of black around it, and I've done the same to my photos, so I'm pretty much doing the same treatment to both, and that is just going to have that repetition throughout my layout and make it even more pleasing to the eye because it's done in more than one place. And I don't have a measurement for you on that. It's a lot less than 1/4 of an inch. Like the fuchsia is usually 1/4 of an inch is usually what I leave around each side. Some people would leave larger, but I like it really slim. But the black is even smaller than that, so it might even be 1/8 of an inch. And I am going to ink up this piece of paper that I'm putting in the back. And the reason I didn't put black paper around that was I didn't feel like it needed black paper since the photos have it, but I did want to give it some definition and add a little pop of black somewhere else on the layout. So these are whitewater rafting on the South Fork of the American River, and these are, this particular set of rapids is a 3+, which is, it's pretty wild. It's a lot of fun. It is like the highest number rating that we could do, with it being a Girl Scout trip, was I think a 3. So yeah. And then at the end, you're going to see me lay a pocket page next to this page, and those are the corresponding photos. If you look at those, you will see the whole boat disappears into the water. But we didn't lose anybody. Nobody fell out of the boat or anything. We were the only boat that day that did not, from this particular rafting company. So we felt pretty proud of ourselves. So I auditioned a few different tags up there in the corner. I decided to go with this one with the navy blue, and I like it because it's like the repetition of those striped little border pieces that are going down each side of the centerpiece. It has that navy blue in it, and I feel like the darker color kind of just grounds everything. And then I have been finding that I'm enjoying cutting out, well, I wouldn't say I'm enjoying, I don't really enjoy cutting the white part off of these, and I'm not cutting the whole white part, but I'm finding the white part is super wide on a lot of these die cuts, and I really prefer that they not be so wide, and so I'm enjoying the look of them after I fussy cut them, even though I'm not a huge fan of fussy cutting. I feel like when the white border is so thick, it looks like it's just a printed piece of paper, which, yes, it is a printed piece of paper, but if I fussy cut around them, it feels like it's more layered, like there were more pieces involved than just one printed piece of paper, like those little leaves are coming out from underneath the flowers rather than just printed next to them. I don't know if that makes a whole lot of sense, but that's my reasoning. And I switched which die cut I was putting in which area because I wanted to use that pink tag down below, and the one up above has a pink flower in it, so that fuchsia color flower and the fuchsia tag go together nicely in opposite areas, so I'm bringing the same color to the same area. Both of the die cuts have the yellow in it, so again, the same color in the opposite areas. And then I'm going to fussy cut out these little tiny, they look like little dandelion flowers. I don't know what they actually are, but they were cut off of another one of her florals, and I saved them. And so I am fussy cutting around those and tucking them under and gluing them down so it looks like an additional layer again. So if you only have these large printed die cuts, see if you can cut around them a little bit to give the shapes more definition and make them look like they are their own piece rather than just ink on a paper. And maybe that will help you to enjoy them more, just like it's helping me. I'm going to go ahead and stick some of the foliage under there because we need a little bit of greenery in there. Apologize, somebody's texting me on my watch, so I usually try to cut all of that out, but it was only for a few seconds, so sometimes when you see it go from screen to screen, it's because I've cut out an interruption of either my watch or the phone or the TV or my husband or whatever. So, and I do enjoy using this Nuvo Deluxe glue. It works really well for these kinds of things. I don't use it on the entire back. I only use it on the pieces that are tucked under. The parts that are not tucked under, typically I leave that free to kind of like have its own dimension and layer. Now that piece that I have stuck under there says Full of Heart, that pink piece, and then there is going to be a green piece that goes below that that says Together. Then the little blue piece that I put at the top says Stay Focused, and I used that blue because the floral down at the bottom has these blue leaves on it, and so that brings the color up to the area at the top just like it is down below. The leaves on the one at the top are like a periwinkle color, which is the color of the center of the leaves at the one at the bottom, so I didn't really need to bring a lot of periwinkle, although I did toy with bringing that word journey in. In the end, I decide not to use it. I just stick with these little, I guess banner pieces is what you'd call them. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe labels. They are super cute though. I really like them. And I like the shape of them as well. And those are all 3 popped up onto foam. giving added dimension. And again, I am fussy cutting another one of these flowers because it's almost like a circle piece before it's cut. There's a little bit of dimension on it, but they don't cut down really far in between the petals, and I wanted that added dimension, and so I went ahead and cut it. So don't be afraid to alter your embellishments. Cut them apart if you need to. And then I'm going to go ahead and add, I play with where I'm going to put this green piece and whether I'm going to add Journey on there, but the green piece is going to go below Full of Heart, which is the pink piece, and that is pretty much going to be the main part of the layout. I am going to add a little bit of ink and some enamel dots. So I add some yellow enamel dots and some periwinkle enamel dots in both the top and the bottom clusters. Again, this is another layout that just pretty much has 2 clusters rather than 3, but they nicely frame the photos, and it's a diagonal. It brings your eye kind of across, even though the diagonal is a little bit almost straight up and down. I've just laid a little bit of packaging over my photos so that I don't get any of the ink on them or the mist on them, and I am using some dilutions in this bright fuchsia color, which is called Funky Fuchsia, and then I am also using some hot pink Heidi Swapp Color Shine. I'm going to add some baker's twine to all 3 tags. I'm going to remove that white twine at the top of the top tag and just replace it with a black and white like the others. And then my tag says the last 3+ rated part of the trip. It's called Hospital Bar for a reason. So much fun. And you can see in the photos to the right hand side there, our boat pretty much disappears into the water because it is such a big rapid, and it was so much fun. We had a blast, and I've had a great time with you today, so thank you for being here, and if you'd like to give me a thumbs up down below, I'd really appreciate it. If you're not a subscriber, I'd love for you to subscribe. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing and spending time with me. The close-ups are coming up in just a moment. Check the box down below and watch the other ladies that are playing along in the telephone hop and see the progression of our layouts. Bye!